Not sure if anybody's getting notifications. I know, I'm off to bed. So, just as people might be going off to bed, I don't know if anybody else goes to bed this early, but since I have to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning, it comes very, very early. But I just want to touch base. There's a lot that has been going through my mind lately as the world has, gone crazier. And with things unveiling as it has. The past 2.5 years, I think, have been unpredictable for all of us. Never thinking that, I mean, life is unpredictable in itself, let alone having things being uncovered the way that they have. And I think now a lot more people are awakening, but yet they're still afraid. Like, they're still, it's like that awness that people are having in that awness that people are having that I what am I trying to say? So today, what was revealed to me today? So crazy busy day, nutty day, it's a new moon, total, partial eclipse. And this one, she is in charge of the area that I work for, with through Save on Foods and stuff. Anyways, she's showing me all the financials and liabilities and all the fun stuff, right? So we get talking, and like, she wanted to know what brought me to Alberta. So I started talking to her and told her different things. And as we were talking, I started, and I said, then I really dove into my own company. And she goes, "Oh, just, well, what's your company?" So I told her, the Guru Mama. And then I explained to her about a lot that's been happened in the past 2.5 years for me. I said, not only, the fact with with everything that happened to Steve, but because of a lot of the predictions that I did, a lot of people didn't like it. But, she said, as we were chatting there, she said, I think because a lot of people were afraid to hear the truth and hearing the truth. And that's the thing, is that we're coming and we're awakening to a time, to a place where, like, especially when you were raised to believe things coming off the news, or you believed to have trust in the government, or have trust in, because these are the people that we voted for, et cetera, et cetera. And this energy that is unveiling for us, that is coming forward for us, is having us be awoken, to be awake, so that we are stepping into a time of not only our own authority, but building that authority through new communities and new interactions with people. And that's the beautiful part of it. I would not have met so many really interesting people. And it's funny, when you are making somebody's coffee, you're able to have sometimes a conversation, break them away from that screen time, just to say hi, how's their day going? And, sometimes it leads to things on the news, or it leads to other, conversations, stock market and stuff like that. But you end up having a connection, and that you find that people are awakening, people are seeing what is going on. And it's in that gives you a sense of hope, gives you a sense of, wow, there is a rumbling going on in the world right now. And even though I know the new PM that was chosen for the UK, he's a joke. He really is. He wasn't elected. He was, put through the party, because, you know, uh through their parliamentary system. That's how it works. Um, his wife is not from or is not of the UK. She's a billionaire. And her business is set up through like through another country. And that's why she doesn't have to pay taxes. I don't know the whole gist of it, but that's the basis of that I understand. And you're just like, wow, you know, there's so many, but it's being exposed. This is being exposed. I mean, these things are being shown to the people, and the people are like, what? What's going on? Like, that's the thing. More and more of truth is going to be coming forward. And it is going to be difficult for a lot of people to really see the truth. Even one of the doctors that is um, on YouTube, and let me see if I can. Oh, I don't know if he's a nurse practitioner. I think he's from England. Um, but he was very, he went through the facts and everything else with the shot and stuff like that. Now Dr. Yeah, he's a doctor, Dr. John Campbell. And he's really coming in with more information. Like, he takes medical journals and he takes the facts. Um, Whoopsie, that's him. And he's now talking about the excess young deaths in the UK and US, and going through, what is their explanation? Why is this happening? And so he's really, his being awakened. Like, this is a man who's like, wow, okay, there's something more going on than what they were trying to tell the world. In amongst the EU might be crumbling, but there's an assembly right now that is really wanting to hold people accountable for the amount of money that has been utilized, um, with how they made money, especially politicians. One of the reasons why Boris Johnson was ousted, I mean, he had parties and he used political money to decorate his apartment, his loft. So this is exposure that's happening. More of it's be happening more and more. This is getting all of us to come to this awakening, to come to this um events. And it is a dismantlement of government. It is a dismantlement that is putting power in many ways back to the people. It's hard to see sometimes because things get blown up, with China, with Russia, and with what's going on with Ukraine, and many other countries around the world right now. But people are getting to a point where they're like, no, we don't want American influence here, or we don't want this in our country anymore. We want to create something that is more sovereign, that is our own. And that's part of the awakening. And it's messy, and it's just, we don't want to see it because we want something that's easy and pretty and transitional and fluffy. But in making changes and making new growth, it isn't pretty. It isn't, if anybody's tried to grow a garden, sometimes it takes a while to figure out what are the weeds and what are the real plants, right? So that's what we're going through. And through this, this is bringing in huge transformation for us all, and exposure of extreme corruption. I mean, there's more to come, just saying. Uh, Between, what's happening with between Russia and Ukraine. And he's even said many, many times over and over again, I don't want to use nuclear weapons. I don't want to do that. He's even, he's been saying that all along. And this is where you take a step back. Well, who's saying that? Oh, it's the other side. Remember, I said you have to be aware of the people, like, you think that that's your friend, or you think that that's we're supposed to trust that society, yet we're taking a step back and it's like, ooh, but I don't really trust it anymore. I don't trust I don't trust the other side either. But I'm beginning to see the chessboard. I'm beginning to see more of the players that are being exposed. And sometimes when someone is telling you things, you don't want to hear it. You don't like to hear what is being told. Sometimes you don't want the truth, right? It's you saw a really nice dress, you put it on, and the girl in the dress shop says, "Oh, you look fabulous in it." You bring it home, and your husband or your daughter or your son or somebody else or your girlfriend says, "Oh, that looks horrendous on you. Why did you buy it?" And it's like, "Oh, all right." I wasn't trusting my own judgment. I trusted somebody else's judgment. We all do this. This all happens. And through that comes this awakening. And sometimes it's angering and it's mad and it's frustrated because we feel, and I feel like so many have felt ridiculed or felt overexposed. Yeah, my honest family. you know, that's part of it, is that the humility of awakening, the humility of understanding that, wow, okay, we can't really trust this. What they're saying is not true. Like, many people still, believe that, the truckers were like, oh, bunch of radical vandalism people, that were trying to disrupt the government. And all they were doing is trying to fight for our rights and our freedoms. Um, but I looked nice, yes. It's brown, but I thought it looked nice on me. Yeah, I know. I was like, I thought it looked nice on me. I thought I looked really good tonight. I don't have lipstick. I don't have any makeup on right now. Um, and so this is where we're at right now, is an awakening part, and it's awkward. And I'm realizing that the more this is unveiling, the more that things is exposing. And as I said to um the woman today that I was talking to, I don't want to say her name, but I said to her, I said, in astrology, this is why I love astrology. And because it's connected to the world. It's connected to the unveiling of what has happened, and through it you find history. Through it you find an understanding, and you get those aha, oh, I can see it. And it gives you that path, and that's why astrologers love to look forward, and look into, oh, okay, at the beginning of the year I said, okay, whew, about September, October, November. Now I'm looking into March, and I'm like, wow, March is going to have some really crazy, because Pluto's changing signs, Saturn's changing signs. So and Saturn's coming into the end of a huge cycle, like a 28-year cycle, because it's the last sign. He's going into Pisces. And it'll be the first time that, you know, Pluto and Saturn are 30 degrees apart. Like, they have separated. So that energy of separation has come in, where more truths, more revelations, more, you know, is coming in. And Saturn is the god of, I want structure. I want this, into Pisces. Pisces have no structure. They're it's ether, it's expansion. They don't, you know, if anybody's lives with the, they just sort of leave things all over the place. They usually need a list or somebody to direct them in some way. Um, you know, and in comes Saturn, right? In comes Saturn, and his sun is still there. Neptune is his sun. So this is um this unveiling, this concepts that are going to be coming in. And we're going to see a glimpse of Pluto as he enters into Aquarius for a short while. Then he'll retrograde back into Capricorn and then in 2024. And he's going to be there for 20 years. 20 years in Aquarius. And Aquarius is that it's the scientific brain, it is the community, it is wanting individuality, that uniqueness, and Pluto's coming in to disrupt. That's what he does. Whenever he comes into a sign, he disrupts. He brings things up. He disrupts things. I mean, when he went into Libra in the 80s, it was a disruption of relationships and justice systems and the balance. And, and we saw in the 80s that was one of the highest divorce rates. People were realizing, I don't have to be with this person for the rest of my life. It was more out in the open to have a divorce. It was where new types of relationships were coming in where, yeah, I'm going to live with that person. I don't need to have a marriage. I don't need that certificate. Gay marriages were coming out more openly during that time as well. So he brings in these radical changes. When he entered Capricorn in 2008, it was a disruption of our financial system, of our governments, and watching how our governments work, right? So we saw that, and we saw all these bailouts and money coming in so that the system wouldn't falter. But from 2008 to now, we are seeing our whole financial system go in a total uproar. We're seeing our governments falter and fall, and the disruption and all of that that's coming through, right? This is what's coming in. But through that is new opportunities, new communities and connections that are coming in that you would never have made before. And that's what the beauty of all of this is. And that's where I will be talking more about what's going to be, what I see, what's going to be unfolding for March, and into the new year, and how great things can come out of it through great dismantlement through it. But we got to go through the dismantlement of everything in order for us to go through the great creations and coming into the great creations. Saturn going into Pisces, which is a water sign, and he's a ruler of earth and air. So we know there's going to be some crazy things happening with water. We're going to see some crazy things that are going to unfold with all of that. Even as he gets closer to Pisces, we're going to see a lot of things happening with water and some crazy things. Love the crazy vibe of your space and the casual atmosphere we share. Thank you, Lexi. And that's, for me, as we go forward, I know um work takes up a lot of time for me, where I basically only have a couple hours on the weekend to do readings and do things like that. But for me also is that I really want to dive more into learning more of the astrology, and being able to share that with you more. That's one of my goals. I know that. And having impromptu conversations where I pop on here and we have a conversation, and we chit chat about not only world affairs, but on how the astrology is affecting some of the world affairs, or how it's the alignments that are working. I love world affairs. I love history. I love digging into it, and I love to look at it. Not everybody does, but I find in knowing that, in understanding that, um, it gives you sort of a more of an understanding of the world and other people. In my digging of it, what I've realized is that I discovered, and I can't remember, anyways, a Russian family that I've been following in Russia, and him and his wife and his daughter, little baby, he's so cute, going on a vacation time and showing his drive. And it was funny, as he was driving, on their GPS in Russia, it shows you how bad the traffic is coming ahead, because they have drones, they have police drones and stuff, um, that go up and down to make to see how far the traffic jam is, and to make sure other things and stuff like that. And those who don't learn from the past are doomed to repeat it, definitely. And this was like seeing a family and showing it. And I've there's a couple other young people that that I've followed, and they showed grocery shopping and stuff like that in Russia. Um, just giving you another perspective of the world. That's why I love watching Chateau Diaries with Stephanie Jarvis. Just watching how she's just, I gotta live my life. She just came back from Egypt. If you're into Egyptology or anything like that, look it up. They Some of the things that she got to see and places that she went, absolutely fabulous. Um, this is giving you a perspective that, other people are living their life and getting out there and living their life. And that's what we have to do too, is to get out there, live your life to the fullest. And that's also what the astrology is saying. It's saying, like, the more you live your life, the more you put your light out there, the more you start doing it, that creates that changes, that creates those connections and that vibration, and having conversations with others, and that's so important. I mean, in me working, I'm beginning to understand, not that I agree with it all the time, but the pronouns, and how so many young people, I'm talking about, like, because I work with 20-year-olds that have anxiety disorders, and I think that's, when we were growing up, or when I was growing up, you were told to carry on with it. Why are you moping in your room? Get out of your room, get outside, go do this. You weren't allowed to mope. You weren't allowed to feel that, if you had, my mother would say, Sticks and stones may break your bones, but words will never harm you." I mean, that was my mother's saying. If somebody was bugging you, it's just like, keep on going. Don't let their words harm you. Don't let their words, hold you back. Continues being the person that you need to be. And, even though the words did hurt you, but you carried on. Um, and I think sometimes, some of that was good, some of that wasn't good. Um, but I think part of that, some people today, I feel like they need that sort of kick in that pants, of that saying, you know what, start figuring out your shit, kind of thing. And yeah. Anyways, that's another kettle of fish. But I just wanted to touch base and let you know things are unfolding, things are getting crazy, but things are actually out of that. There's some really great energies that are coming through it all. And we have to live our life, and we have to go forward with all of that. So, on that note, I'm heading off to bed, because now it's 15 after 9, and 5 o'clock comes very early for me. So, have a blessed one, everyone. And may the Lord and the Lady watch over and bless each and every one of you. And onwards and upwards. Let me know how everybody's doing out there. Please leave your comments below, like, subscribe, and give me a thumbs up on my YouTube channel. And have a great one. And press the notification button so that you get notified for when I do my little impromptus. All right. So we'll talk to you soon, everybody. And blessings and good night. Bye bye.